You should all go take your kids to see Ninja Scroll, especially if they're big fans of brutal violence and sexual assault. We went to see Ninja Scroll in the theater for the 30th anniversary. Ninja Scroll was released in 1993, and it is currently 2024. I don't know how that works. Maybe they use a different type of math in Japan. Maybe they use Terrence Howard's math. A while ago I tried rewatching Akira, and the movie looks beautiful. I respect it, I admire it, but the movie just completely goes over my head. You know, I was reading about it and there's all this symbolism in it, and it just doesn't feel all that accessible to me yet. And I was reading about all these types of anime that were influential, especially in bringing the medium to Western audiences. There's Akira, there's Ghost in the Shell, and I came across Ninja Scroll, which for some reason is not available to stream anywhere. Even though there are currently 80 billion places to stream things, it's just not anywhere. I had to purchase a used copy on eBay. I got my DVD right here, and it kind of blew me away. Fortunately, they are releasing a Blu-ray copy of Ninja Scroll. I already pre-ordered it. I will leave a link to that in the description below if you are interested in checking that out. I am by no means an expert on anime, I need to make that clear. But something that really surprised me were the 3 movie trailers that they showed prior to showing Ninja Scroll in the theater. They showed Transformers 1, which I have no interest in. They showed Moana 2, which I have a mild interest in. And they showed The Wild Robot, which actually looks pretty good. But these are 3 children's movies. And at first I was wondering who was responsible for that. Who made that decision to show these 3 trailers? Was it Iconic Events? Was it the local theater? I wonder who made that decision. They shouldn't be showing trailers for 3 children's movies in front of Ninja Scroll, a movie that I said up top contains brutal violence and sexual assault. It just feels like it continues this disconnect between Western audiences and their understanding of what anime is. Let's just lump animation all together. But then I realized, no, American filmmakers aren't really making animation for adults. Sometimes they get sprinkled in there, but for the most part, it's all family-oriented entertainment. It's children's movies. It's not necessarily for adults. For example, the top 10 grossing movies of 2024 currently include Inside Out 2, Despicable Me 4, and Kung Fu Panda 4. Which I understand, these children's movies, they make bank. But I just thought that was interesting that they showed 3 children's movies in front of Ninja Scroll. The closest thing I can think of are those Mortal Kombat animated movies. Some of them are pretty violent and some of them are pretty cool. So before they started the movie, they showed an interview with the writer and director of Ninja Scroll, Yoshiaki Kawajiri. And that was actually pretty cool. I was not expecting that. But I think everyone in the audience thought that the interview was probably too long. You know, by the 17th question, we were all right, we can start the movie by now, I think. They could probably consolidate that section. Even the director said, oh, I'm repeating myself at this point. But he spoke about his influences for Ninja Scroll and a lot of action movies. Interestingly enough, he mentions The Magnificent Seven, but he didn't mention Seven Samurai. He mentions John McTiernan's movies, such as Predator and Die Hard. He talks a lot about loving action movies and working with the tempo of action and how there's lows and highs and soft parts and loud parts, and bringing that kind of energy into Ninja Scroll. Ninja Scroll is awesome. The movie starts out with a killer intro. You got the protagonist, Jubei Kibagami. He's just walking, minding his business, eating a rice ball, and he gets attacked. He throws the rice ball into the air and he obliterates his attackers. That's essentially all the intro you get from him. That's all you need. All you know is that this dude's a badass. That's it. Let's proceed with the rest of the movie. Then enter Kagero, who in the movie, we watched it with Japanese audio and English subtitles. They kept saying the word kunoichi. It essentially means woman or female shinobi or practitioner of ninjutsu. I was thinking about this while watching the movie, and I mentioned it right at the start of this video. If this movie just had the violence, I think you could show this movie to a 11, 12-year-old, maybe 10, but because of the sexual assault, I would up that to maybe 14, 15. I don't know. I don't have kids, so I guess it's none of my business, but I did start to think about that while watching this movie. Poor Kagero. Oh man, the things she went through. There's a rape attempt by this dude who, he's a monster creature. He kind of reminds me of Thanos. And he starts going at it, and everyone in the audience was like, ugh. It happens again later on in the movie, and then it's uncomfortable. But the gist of the movie is that there's just this guy who used to be Jubei's leader, and he betrays everyone, and Jubei kills him, and he somehow reincarnates himself. They don't explain a lot. Again, they don't have to. So he essentially recruits these demons on his team, and he's trying to gain more power, you know, take over Japan, take over the world type thing. And Jubei teams up with this old guy and Kagero, and they fight back against these demons, and the action scenes are what sets this movie apart. They're awesome. Again, I'm not an anime expert, but I would say that there would be no Samurai Champloo without this movie. For example, you have three unlikely characters that come together to fight for a common goal. And there's countless movies and countless TV shows that have that similar premise. And I'm not saying Ninja Scroll invented that, but Ninja Scroll is awesome. It almost plays like a video game, like a Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. You're going after boss after boss after boss. It's really cool. I highly recommend that you check out Ninja Scroll. I'm a pretty casual anime fan. I do like the culture and I like the art style. I've been to Anime Expo a couple times, and it's fun to walk around and check out the arts. I watched Chainsaw Man a few months ago, and it was pretty awesome. It's pretty cool. But if you have any suggestions for me, let me know down in the comments below. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a cupcake to eat.